Hello, this is Dr. Abraham, fellow professor in organization management and human resources concentrations. In this presentation, as I'm going to cover the overview, the employment relations, and also the discriminations at workforce. Employment has to be treated fairly in each organizations, regarding of the color, religions, sex, all these things it has to be, or disability, all these things has to be treat everyone equally concerning the hiring, promotings, or terminations, or developing or training. So everyone it has to be treated fairly inside any kind of organization or firms or facility to work. So we see through the years they have so many cases and discriminations. One of the most cases that came to my mind is about the Boeing, the global aerospace. Boeing Aerospace, that's the Airbus is 737 and 747s. They filed lawsuit against them. That's when it's happened in year 2000 when 38 females engineers, they found out that is the pay is different than the males engineers. How would this happen? When they have some kind of assessment they did, and finally Business Week they went through some kind of interview, and they found out that the females has similar job description, similar work they do with the males, and they found out less pay. So the organization has to pay $4.5 million for that lawsuit against them. Could be liability more than $120 million. This one all is false, and how to be in the HR human resources, how to treat each one the same job descriptions equally with no discriminate against anyone. We see also cases in age discriminations because some company after they know person that they hire, they look at it, they look for over 40 years old, and they start discriminate about the age. That's right there also age discrimination, and we see so many cases if they fire the peoples more than 40 and they have a trend for that one, that will show that the organization is doing bring the young peoples and terminate the elderly peoples. That's what they think is. They don't think that is the more value they bring to the organizations, how many years they work in this organization, and they give all the effort to help the performance and the retentions for that company for years and years. Now they comes and they get rid of them. The reason is why, because the pay is high, so they want to bring less pay, more employees. And some of them, sometimes the organization, they give incentives pay. So the court said if in case of the individual under no powers or no threats, and they sign the incentives the organization offer and they take the money, it's fine because there's no like force or anything from the company to that individual. So the court said it's okay. So we'll see these kind of also in the age discriminations. And we see also sometimes also in disparate treatment, how they treat each individuals for concerning the job. And we see also for the impact. The treatment, for example, for example, the background check. They do background check, they check, for example, for the minority, they don't check for another people. So these kinds of treatment, they treat the peoples, and even in the jobs. And we see also in the disparate impact concerning the hiring, concerning the women's or the height of the individuals, they do discriminate about that one. We see also cases in disability cases in religions, how they treat each one differently. They discriminate. Sometimes they discriminate against different religions. Then the period of the time they want to pray, or they don't let them, or they don't offer certain days for them to pray. And we see also a case concerning agreements with the McDonald's manufacturers. That has happened between 1956 and 1964, when Mr. Greens, he's in a mechanics and working in a company for so many years. He involved in some time of locked out with the company, they terminating him. And when that job is reopened again for the manufacturers, they bring another individual. They don't bring Mr. Green back. That's a case, also the federal case. When they asked the company why they don't bring Mr. Green back, they said, because he's involved in bad behaviors for the lock in the parking lot. They don't allow the cars comes and go in the parking lot. But this is not the issue, because another one individual with him in the same things, they give him the offer the job. So the court looked at it, and they found out this individual, he has to come back to the company. And we see also many cases concerning in the job that they treat the women, concerning if they want to do, it depends about the job descriptions. For a school, for example, if they want to hire women and men and women, and they look at the woman, she's going to have a baby, and the baby is going to affect their job, their position, they hire men, and instead of they hire the women. So this right there is disparate treatment between male and female, men and women. Some battery manufacturer, they think we don't hire women because the lead from the battery could affect the child inside the woman. So many cases they take it to the court, and it depends about how many evidence they have for that case, to support that case, or even to bring the individual back to the company, or they said, no, you have no case. It depends about the Equal Employment Opportunity Commissions. If you have a case, you have 180 days to file the claim with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. After 180 days, you don't have the right to submit a case. The commission, the Equal Employment Commission, Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, has 60 days to look at the case. After that's when they come back again, they said, even you have the right to file a lawsuit in the federal court, or if you don't have a case. So all these things we have to be falling in the treatment, and everything fall in the human resources, how to treat everyone equally and fairly to avoid all these of liable lawsuit against the company. Back again, the human resources represent the backbone of the company. So you have to know all the evidence before you terminate any individuals, and you have to look at them back again one more time, treat everyone fairly. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.